there is a glimmer of hope, and it looks something like this.
We simply cannot stay closed until the vaccine hits critical mass. The cost is too high. We will have nothing left to open. The economic, psychological, emotional cost would be incredible.
I want to get our restaurants and our bars reopened as quickly as possible. The restaurant setting in particular, highly regulated. We have inspections on a regular basis. They've gone above and beyond to put in mitigation controls inside of the restaurants. They are going to be one of the safer places.
We do want to provide a path forward for economic recovery in our state. So today, to that end, we are announcing a new plan. We call it Healthy Washington. This includes live entertainment with very tight restrictions. We're talking about ticketing groups of 10, as well as certain fitness programs.
Effective immediately, all the regions in the state of California are no longer in the stay-at-home order. Restaurants can open for outdoor dining with modifications. Nail hair salons can open with modifications. Certain youth sports can resume for competition in particular.
This is fantastic news. Obviously, this is something that the Great Barrington Declaration was all about. We can't have the cure be worse than the disease. These lockdowns are causing suicides, stress, drug abuse, all sorts of issues. We are seeing the destruction of an economy, people losing their jobs, going into poverty, millions pouring into poverty around the world. So it's nice to hear that some of the kings of Draconia, these people that have really been driving the draconian measures more than anyone else, are starting to recognize that there may be some truth to opening up. Cuomo, of course, saying, we can't handle this, we can't go on like this, or there'll be nothing left to open up to. I want to support it. I want to say that this is the Great Barrington Declaration. It's what we have been, trying to lead these people into with the Highwire from the beginning. There is a way forward. There is a safe way to open up to still protect those at high-risk categories while, letting the schools get back where transmission and infection is extremely low, and let the kids have their lives back. Those of us that are healthy, maybe the 99.6% of us that don't mind having some sniffles so we can go out and achieve herd immunity. But here, I am just struck with a question. And not to really poo-poo this movement, I don't want to, put a shadow over it, but I do have a glaring question. And the question is this: why now? Why now? I mean, after the entire year, why this week? Why now? And I wanted to look at some graphs with you, and maybe you can come to an answer to this question, because I don't know what is happening. Because let's look at New York. This is the year in review of COVID-19 in New York, and here's what we know for a fact. We know that Cuomo absolutely lost his mind and went into lockdown on March 22nd, right about here, right? Hold on a second. Let me just do this, right? Right about here, right there. This is lockdown for New York, okay? We're going crazy, panicked. This is where, what we're talking about, active cases, right? The amount of cases, this is where we're at. And then on May 13th, so right about here, okay, this is where we have a second lockdown. Now we're really getting serious, and we're starting to, say, you know what, we're going to arrest you in the streets, whatever it is. Second lockdown, absolutely, totally panicked. You remember it. We were there. We were watching the crisis. We may not have enough beds. We got a ship coming to the harbor to take all the extra beds. We're building tents in Central Park. We got the Javits Center filled with beds everywhere as far as we can see. That was all happening right down in here. But now, right now that we have obviously, mission accomplished, right? Now here is where our affections are at. This is now, okay, mission accomplished. Now we're going to open up. Does that make sense to anybody? I mean, what the hell? Why were we panicked all the way down here? I mean, look at the difference here. This is the difference. Now we're going to open up? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Let's look at another state. Let's look at Washington. Inslee, right? Inslee's been really amazing with the lockdowns. He's crazy about it too. March 23rd is when he locks down. Let's see, March 23rd, right about there. This is the lockdown for Inslee. What was going on? Oh my God! Lock it down, lock it down. March 30th, right about here, right? Not only is it locked down, now he says, we're going to arrest you. We're going to shut down your business, but we are literally threatening arrests here. Oh my God, you do anything, we're going to lock you up. But now, okay, apparently that did its job because we have quelled this all the way to up here. Here we are, right there. Okay, good. Now I feel much better about it all. Feel so much better. Now that we're in the top of a crisis, apparently, let's start opening up. Now's the time. I know I was really threatening. I'm glad you listened to me. Glad you still left me, in charge of this state for threatening you. But I mean, look at this, is insane. How does this make any sense? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Let's look at another one. These are all of our heroes through COVID-19. Let's go to Illinois, right? Once again, March 22nd, right about here, lockdown, okay? I'm going to move a little bit quicker so my writing won't be as good. But literally, listen, what happens on May 2nd, right about here? Here's where we're at, right? Here's what she was saying in the news. Listen to this.
This is how it's going to be. We will shut you down, we will cite you, and if we need to, we will arrest you and we will take you to jail. Period. There should be nothing unambiguous about that. Don't make us treat you like a criminal.
We're going to treat you like a criminal. We're going to put you in these, supposed to be handcuffs. I tried. I'm not the best artist. Here. Oh my God. You better look out. We're coming for you. But where are we at now? Where are we at now? We were right here. But apparently right up here is where we feel like it's okay to open up our restaurants and start moving back to business as usual. Now, I will admit that of all of these graphs, at least it does appear that Illinois is going down, but it's still skyrocketing. It's so much higher than when we were all panicked. Let's do it one more time just to show you the consistency with which we all, whatever I'm missing out on, right? Whatever I don't understand, clearly these folks are all together in deciding that this is our moment. But we love him, Dr. Newsom there in King of Draconia. The lockdown for them happened March 19th. That's right about here. Again, hold on, let's see. March 19th, right there. Okay? That's the lockdown. What does he do? He says literally on March 25th, they decide on March 25th, when it's right down, we are so close to zero, if you dare open your business, if you dare gather in your house, we are going to shut off your water and power. This is Water and Power Day, and in California, no can do for you. If you decide to do anything like have a job, we're going to shut you down because, oh my God! But now, I guess, mission accomplished, right? Up here, open time. Here we go. Let's open it up. I don't know. California eases lockdowns as U.S. COVID-19 epic ends. So I'm going to just throw out just a thought here. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what they're thinking. I can't guess. I don't want to really speculate too much. But if we look at all of those different states, right? We've got California, Illinois, New York, Washington, all basically screaming fire in a crowded room, right about here. What's happening? Right about here, okay? But let's be honest. There is one thing that's shifted. It's certainly not the infection rate. It's not the infection rate that changed, but what I do know for a fact is that right about here, we elected a new president. And I guess that means everything's going to be okay. I mean, now it's okay to open up. Now, all of a sudden, we're saying it's okay to open up because remember, that crazy orange man in the White House, and I don't really mean to make this political, but somewhere over here in April, right around here, he said, hey, let's open by Easter. Let's carefully open up. Let's, protect those that are at high risk, but let's go ahead and start opening up because I'm pretty sure the death rate of this virus is below 1%. This is where the lunatic was saying that. But by here, oh my God, we're ready now. Now we know what we need to do. Now we know how to do this. I don't know. This is not a political show, but it certainly looks like this is a political illness, a political pandemic. at least here in the United States of America. But I don't want to poo-poo it. I don't want to scare these guys back into locking it back down, because the lockdowns, as we know, are doing more damage than this infection rate. And by the way, 99.6% of these people only have the sniffles anyway, so what difference does it make? But I do have some suggestions for these great crusaders of Draconia. Here's what I would recommend. If you really want to make this look good and you want to make this go away so that we can celebrate how Biden saved the world and how Newsom, you were right all along, and Cuomo and Lightfoot and Inslee, here's what I would say you do. Couple of quick things to fix this overnight. Why don't we go back to the 2019 death certificate, where when you were on your deathbed with heart disease and cancer and you caught a cold like COVID, that it actually said on the death certificate, you died of cancer. If we did that, instead of saying if you're dying with COVID, you're dying from it, you would immediately just take a lot of this would just drop down. Death rate would go down, a lot of it would drop down. I have another idea. Why don't you just loosen your death grip on ivermectin and on hydroxychloroquine, or maybe this little beauty that they're all talking about coming out of Spain. There we go, Spanish drug, plitidepsin, is more effective against coronavirus. I mean, I don't know. Just look the other way and let people actually use the tools that they've been using for 70 years. And then we'll watch the death rate and the infection rate come down again. And here's another idea. Since everybody's talking about all the cycles of the PCR test, WHO, everybody's saying, you know, we are getting a lot of false positives above 33 cycles, as Fauci put it, and we're all using 45 cycles. How about this? Why don't you mandate a limit to the amount of cycles on the PCR test? I don't know, maybe like 25 cycles or as high as 33. That right there would bring this infection rate right down into here. And look, the pandemic's disappearing, and we're not even talking about the vaccine yet. However you do it, there is plenty of ways to make all of this acceptable so we can all go back to our lives, so that I can get back to sniffing the flowers and breathing the flowers and walking down the road, breathing the air that I think God has left perfect this entire time. It's all a very easy step forward, and all of it will kind of happen magically. And in case this doesn't work all by itself, maybe we should follow in China's footsteps. Because China, you know, as we all know, they've been leading us through this from the very beginning. And since we've all really been bent over for the last year anyway, I think we won't mind being bent over one more day for what seems to be the real solution, anal swabbing. That's right. Here we go. Can we have the headlines so don't think I just made this up? And you thought nose swabs are bad. China begins using anal swabs to test for COVID in Beijing because they are much more accurate. I am all about accurate. I think that accuracy is where this should really be at. Now, am I going to go that far? I doubt it. I'll think about it. But if it means getting out of this so that we can get our lives back, I will certainly, here's what I will promise you. I will anal swab long before I ever touch a vaccine that never made it through a proper safety trial.
If you like that clip, then be sure to check out our live broadcast of The Highwire every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Time. You can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, and Twitter. We'll see you there.